You're listening to the Limitless Broadcasting Network.
This is Robby Reviews.
I feel the need for speed.
I'll make him an offer again.
Life was like a box of chocolates.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss
First
it.
rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
I'll be back.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Show me the
Roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Hello guys, and welcome back to Robby's Reviews. I'm joined again by a very special guest. Sammi
Hello.
is back for another review. I know we keep seeing movies together, but she has an interest in all of these, so that's why I'm inviting her back again. Some days she will be here, some days she won't, but she liked this one in particularly.
Yes.
So today we are talking about Disney's Haunted Mansion. And if you don't know the premise of it, a woman and her son enlist a motley crew of so-called spiritual experts to help rid their home of supernatural squatters. It's rated PG-13. Genre, fantasy comedy. Director is Justin Simeon. Producer Dan Lin. Jonathan Eric.
I would say Irick.
Irick.
Yeah.
Written by Kate Dippold. Release date was July 28th, 2023. Box office gross was 53.1 million. Running time is 2 hours and 3 minutes. Distributor, everybody should get this, especially you guys in the back, is Walt Disney Pictures. I really like that because you can do more with Walt Disney Pictures. Production company is Rideback. Cast and crew.
So it looks like Lakeith Stanfield was Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito.
Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Chase Dillon was the little boy. Travis.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Jared Leto. Where was he at?
You didn't realize Jared Leto was in this movie?
No, I did not.
Hatbox Ghost.
Was that him?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And also Crump, but
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So even me watching the movie, I just learned something different. So the reason why I'm having Sammi on is she actually does a show called the Pixie Dust Twins.
I do.
And that is produced by Limitless Broadcasting in 1950 Studios. And if you don't know about it, let me educate you a little bit. They talk about Disney, Harry Potter, pop Disney culture.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, we're moving more towards like more of a pop culture, millennial,
Right.
based things that we like. And we will be talking about the Haunted Mansion on our show in October. So if you want more breakdown with me and Ashley geeking out about this movie, definitely check out that episode.
So Rotten Tomatoes gave it 38%
From the
for critics. You know how critics are. And then the audience gave it 84%. Makes more sense. So before we actually get into this, let's kind of dive into the timing that the release and what was actually going on. You have Barbie and Oppenheimer. So you have Barbenheimer. And so everybody says this movie flopped at the box office, but in my opinion, it didn't flop. They were just consumed by Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Who could have predicted it?
And honestly, I mean, there's trackings that you can track, what the release date, what a movie should do when it is released. So Barbie was up to 150 million. Oppenheimer was up the same, maybe a little bit less, but still projected at the same level. So you're putting out a Disney movie that's going up with basically Goliath.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, Barbie this and Barbie that and Oppenheimer and Barbenheimer and whatever. It's just so confusing.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's not going to be a flop. There's the average person doesn't know about how movies make money. And that's why I want to actually release a paid newsletter through Limitless Broadcasting, and where we would dive into the business of streaming. We would dive into like what Disney is doing, media, and Silicon Valley. But I will be writing a newsletter about how movies will break down, and because I want to do this, but they're saying Tom Cruise's new movie, Mission Impossible, and Indiana Jones are flopping. $100 million out the door.
Yeah.
They're not even going to recoup. But if you look on how a movie actually makes money, that's not necessarily accurate. And that's a whole nother episode, but I'm just saying, don't. Well,
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because some of the stuff I read was, some people were like, why would they release Haunted Mansion now? Why wouldn't you do it in October? Why wouldn't you do it in, September for Halloween? But this is not like Michael Myers, right? Like Michael Myers came out October 16th, and they know everybody and their brother is going to go see Michael Myers. It comes out a couple weeks before Halloween. They have a guaranteed audience of nerds who are going to go see the movie. This movie, from what I think, it comes out in July. It hangs out in theaters for whatever the
45 days.
Okay, because
that's the new running.
So that
time.
puts it, the end of August to go to streamer.
Right
in time for spooky season. And there's a lot of people who are streaming things on Disney Plus, and a lot of people who do not go to the movies who will see the movie now on Disney Plus and stream it there.
So when you release the theaters actually have to bid on that to see if they want to actually take your picture. And you have to, it's always in the studio's favor, but they have to reach out to these movie theaters and say, would you like this? And this is the time we're thinking about releasing it. And that's how you kind of get the demand, and you lock down a release date of how many theaters say. That's why some independents say, oh, we're only releasing in 2,000 theaters.
Okay.
Because not everybody wanted to bid on that project. So, Zach Braff, we'll take him. He's most iconic independent producer. He personally has to call theaters and get people to get his movie. I hear for Mission Impossible, I hear even Tom Cruise trying to do that to get the 70 millimeter IMAX. But when Christopher Nolan released Oppenheimer, they released those from Mission Impossible to that movie, and Tom Cruise was pissed. But we're getting off track. This is what happens. So what did you think of the story? Like, when you first got into the show, were you excited about this?
Yes. First of all, already excited when they announced the movie.
Yeah.
Number one.
Take me back to that. Like, when you heard that this movie was coming out.
When they were talking about it, and then they had a D23 where they were really talking about this kind of the brief preview of the storyline. These are the actors. You got Rosario Dawson coming on. We're going to have Jared Leto as the Hatbox Ghost. And I was like, that definitely sounds super interesting. And then they brought out Jamie Lee Curtis, and I lost my mind, because obviously I love Jamie Lee Curtis. We've gushed about her on the Boogeyman podcast. Love her.
She's a scream queen.
Love her. She is iconic. And I was like, if she is in this, yes, sign me up. Whatever. It's already Haunted Mansion. I love Haunted Mansion. Big fan of the ride. Obsessed. There's a Muppets Haunted Mansion movie that I also highly recommend. Just FYI, letting you know. But, you always worry that the movie is not going to live up to the hype. But to me, this one did.
Right.
Yes. Do I keep talking? Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
About the movie itself? I don't know what your order of things is.
No. Yeah, you
I don't
can
want
keep
to
talking.
step on your toes. Okay. So to me, this movie, it has so many Easter eggs. If you're a big fan already of the ride, the Haunted Mansion, you know, the house is the Disneyland house, and then they bring in the Disney World house for just a minute when they go and visit a different mansion. It's the Disney World one. Of course, I'm like, oh my God. They have chairs, they have scenes, they have ghosts, all from the ride.
So let me ask you, do you think they filmed that at Disney World?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't think so, no. But the little tie-ins to it, it was so well done. It reminds me of like the Pirates of the Caribbean movie when it first came out. You know, like you have these little Easter eggs and these references to the ride, but it's not just like corny, cheesy with no storyline. And this one had a storyline with all the callbacks that were very subtle. So I think some of it, if you aren't a big fan of the ride, which there are plenty of people out there who love Haunted Mansion.
And that's another reason why I wanted to have you on for this episode, is because you know every word for word. When we go into there, you know it. You know the phrases.
I do.
Like,
I can narrate the entire ride.
So did this movie deliver for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, to the point where I was literally sitting in the theater and I was like, I'm so sad that my dad isn't here to watch this, because I feel like he would have loved it too.
Right.
You know, with all the tie-ins and everything to the ride, because that was something we always did together. So I'm like, it just was so well done, and it had more heart to it than I knew it was going to, with the son, and then you know, Lakeith's character Ben, and their sad stories about losing people. So I thought that was a very Disney thing to do. You know, gotta throw that like heart in there. And you know, I wasn't sure how much Jamie Lee Curtis would be in, since she was Madame Leota, who would be
in a ball,
crystal ball. But I thought it was great the way they used her, right, as well. It was excellent.
I'm glad they did, because if they didn't, it would be a missed opportunity for Disney. And for the most part, this is not the Michael Myers franchise, but for the most part, Disney doesn't miss opportunities. So yeah, but yeah, it just was so many little things that I loved about it, and then plus the overall storyline I thought was so well done. And the ghosts were somewhat scary, but it was PG-13, so you're not going to be like overly scary.
Again, not Michael Myers level of scary. I think it was appropriate, but the Hatbox Ghost is pretty creepy. Like, and the bride, she's a pretty creepy lady too, and I thought that they did a really good job with her character as well. But even the beginning, when the little boy goes in it, first of all, you walk in the house and you're like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like, it literally looks so freaking creepy.
Well, it looked like the ride.
Yeah, like it looks creepy when they walk in the house, and the little boy is definitely like, I don't understand what we're doing, Mom. Like, are you kidding me? This is where we're gonna live. And when he's in his room and he tries to like cover up the mirror, and the sheet keeps coming down behind him and then goes back up, I was like, oh, this is so creepy. I love it. Like, just the right amount of like funny and creepy tied in together. I thought they did a very good job of tying those two lines together, where, you know, you had the scary, the creepy, but it also was pretty funny as well.
What do you think some people that are not iconic Disney fans, what do you think they're gonna overlook by seeing this movie?
As far as like the Easter eggs?
Yeah,
and
like
stuff?
the Easter eggs, yes.
I mean, it goes from, like I said, the outside of the house to the ghosts included, like the ghosts that shoot each other in the hallway, the ghosts dancing in the ballroom.
The ghosts that shoot each other in the hallway. I didn't get this until you actually sat down and explained it to me. But now that I've seen it, and now that you kicked it with me, I understand what's going on.
Yeah, but these are ghosts you can literally see in the Haunted Mansion. The bride.
Yeah.
And, you know, I loved it. He went up in the attic, and I'm like, here we go. Because the bride hangs out, whatever, in the attic. And he starts going, and you see the pictures where the husband's heads are disappearing, which is just like in the ride with the illusion where, because she cuts all their heads off, that all of their heads are disappearing. And I was like, this is great. It's like a perfect, like I said, subtle tie-in where he's walking by photos and he doesn't notice, but we notice. And we also know it's a callback to the ride itself. Jamie Lee, with the way they did her look to look like Madame Leota, with the hair floating everywhere, and she's just a head, and the colors, it was perfect. The chair One of the chairs they sat in particular is in the hallway when you're going down the Haunted Mansion. It has a design on it because some people say it kind of looks like Donald Duck. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you look at it when you're on the ride, it's easier to see than in the movie. The floating candlesticks, that's another key thing.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, from the ride. You know, just in general, like doors shifting, knocking, the paintings, like you have the weird sea captain who's actually pretty funny.
Actually, yeah.
In this one, you know, I would not personally want him haunting me and following me home because he did some very scary things to this poor man.
All right.
But I liked the little like squish squish, like where he left footprints and stuff with the water. That was pretty funny. But yeah, they used ghosts from the hallway scene, you know.
At least they were able to come to an understanding and get on the same page.
Yeah, and I love I love the ending when they send him on the boat and it just takes off and everybody's like, what is happening?
Right, he steals the boat. He's just like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So you loved the story.
I did.
So let me ask you, you like this better than the original Eddie Murphy one?
Yes, nothing against Eddie Murphy, but it was much sillier. It wasn't as tied in as this one. This one really took its time to incorporate the story of the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Include the characters. And they're reintroducing the Hatbox Ghost to the rides.
Aren't they bringing him back into Disney, like more merchandise?
Yes, he's a big part of the lore. Yeah, and I'm not going to do the lore part here because we will definitely be doing this on the Pixie Dust Twins.
Well, now you have to.
Well, basically, he was...
I'm just kidding. You have to go to the Pixie Dust and
to find out the history of where he was at in the ride and what happened to him. Definitely go check out the Pixie Dust Twins. We actually did a whole episode last October that was just about all the different haunted mansions that Disney has at the parks, which includes information about the Hatbox Ghost, but we'll for sure talk about it again in our episode. But
and this is how we cross promote our podcast shows on the Limitless Broadcasting. So definitely subscribe to that one, subscribe to this one. But
yeah, we will break it down a little bit differently over there when we get there. And I promise Ashley and I are going to be geeking out about this.
So Ashley's seen this.
Yes, and I confirmed that she loved it just like I did. So we will be on the same page when we go to talk about it.
Has Dan seen this?
Dan, I don't know if he has, but he will not be on that episode, unfortunately, because Dan is a scare actor and is busy this holiday season. So we will not have him back until we start getting back into like the Christmas season, unfortunately. Yeah, next year we're gonna plan better so we can have him on some Halloween episodes. But
so what did you think of how this movie was shot and produced?
I thought it was good. You know, they got to use CGI and whatnot because it's a ghost movie, and I expected that. But I didn't think it was terrible CGI. Like, I liked the look of the ghosts.
Right.
I liked the special effects that they used. I thought they were appropriate. It didn't take me out of the movie, you know, like as being too much. And then I liked the colors they used in the film. I thought it was appropriate. And I liked the overall storyline. Some of the new characters they introduced. Like I said, Ben's story was so sad with his wife.
Right.
Wasn't expecting that. I was like, well, this is terrible, Disney. Like, what are you doing? Like, he's talking about his wife dying and it's so sad. And then I thought the twist with the little boy at the end, so interesting. The fact that now we find out that his dad had died and that's what was going on with him and his mom, because the whole time you kind of think his dad like left, they got divorced, you know, they're not together anymore, and then you find out all the way at the end that he died and he was writing to him in this notebook. Wasn't him, it was the Hatboxes. But yeah, and I liked Owen Wilson's character too. He was super funny.
I think him and Tiffany Haddish helped
cracked me up, man.
Keep this going.
Yeah,
so,
they brought a lot of the humor, and Danny DeVito. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Would you see this movie again?
I would watch this a million times over, and especially every Halloween. Probably not just a Halloween. This is probably one of those where I'll just
you're gonna
watch it.
You're gonna go out and buy the DVD when it comes out.
I mean, I don't really buy DVDs,
but for movies like this, like
as much, I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely stream it on Disney Plus. If you want to get the Blu-ray, we can.
That's how old
I'm not going to complain about it.
That's how old we are. We're still in like, let's
Robby always gets.
Let's get the special features for all the Blu-rays, because
this
is going to be
movies
jam-packed of special features and behind the scenes. That's why you get.
If they have
DVDs.
Stuff like that, then yeah, we can get the Blu-ray. But if they don't have like the special stuff on it, I don't.
It's not worth it.
I mean, they just stream it. I already have Disney Plus, so.
So, how would you rate this movie?
Honestly, I'd probably say like a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I really loved this movie. Is it perfect? No. Is any movie perfect? No. But for my enjoyment factor, the little tie-ins that they did, the fact that it had the heart with Ben and the little boy and connecting, and
so
the humor.
It hit all your boxes.
Yeah, I would rate it a 10 for me personally. What did you think of the movie?
I liked it. It was very entertaining from start to finish.
I'm so glad.
Again, I'm not as big a Disney fan as you are, but I thought it was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was more enjoyable than the Eddie Murphy one.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to that, but when you have Eddie Murphy in a picture, it's more slapstick, it's more comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just want to see a more serious film.
Yeah.
The acting was on point.
Mm-hmm.
It really, when it comes to pictures and everything like that, it comes down to the acting.
Mm-hmm.
If the actors can't pull it off, it's going to be a flop. But
I
the
agree.
actors were great.
Even the little boy was so good too. Chase.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I would give it probably an 8 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 because I don't still get all the ins and outs, the Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch this again. I had a good time. You want to go see a theater again and say, hey, what movie have we seen, but it's still entertaining, but we want to get out of the house? Haunted Mansion, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this movie isn't going to be a flop for Disney.
No.
Disney is going to make money off of this.
Mm-hmm.
So in our opinion, do you tell people to go see it or don't?
Oh, definitely. This is definitely a must watch. Even if you're not a big fan of the ride, I think the story was so good on this. And like I said, it's got the mix of heart, it's got the mix of humor, and you'll have to rewatch it to see Jared Leto.
Yes. Apparently I've missed some things.
I did not know you missed that.
She got more out of this, but
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
Anything else you wanted to add? I did a lot of talking. I feel like
no, that's the reason I wanted to have you on this episode is because you've noticed more things about it. You can tell people, hey, this is what to look for. This is what not to look for.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. So go see it. We approve this movie, The Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
No, other than just please check out the Pixie Dust Twins breakdown of this too.
Yes,
because it'll be a little bit more
detailed.
Yeah, than this one, but because this is a general overview, just our opinions, and we'll be getting a little more into it.
The good thing about the Pixie Dust Twins is you have two Disney fanatics that can go head to head. I'm not on that level. I can talk to you about movies all day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this podcast is about. It's about movies. It's about seeing the ones that you should and not wasting them. I wouldn't say wasting your money because all media can't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have different movies. That's why things are different. Some people like it, some people hate it, but don't buy into the hype.
Again, I didn't read a single review about this. I was gonna see it no matter what, and it's got a 38% from critics. I haven't read any of those because I don't care. I like the movie.
When they did announce this, I was actually excited about it because I thought the first one with Eddie Murphy was okay, but it just was it could have been better. I think this one actually hit all those emotional boxes and it had the story fleshed out and bringing people back into the characters. Yeah. And I think that's what made this so good.
I agree.
Is they flushed it all out. They knew it took them a long time to actually get the story together.
Mm-hmm.
So good job, Disney. Please subscribe to this one. Please like and subscribe to the Pixie Dust Twins podcast. I have another podcast launching fairly soon, actually. It's called The Partner Complex, produced by Limitless Broadcasting and 1950 Studios. That's coming out soon. So we're adding more to the network. We have a streaming platform coming out on Roku. That will be out in about 90 days. I'm acquiring content left and right, so please sign up.
Awesome.
Couple more things. We're going to 90s Con September 15th to the 17th. That's next month. I will be there all weekend.
That's going to be
in Tampa, the convention center. And then Spokala is at Tampa Fairgrounds. That's the first weekend of October. That's the 4th through the 6th. that's definitely going to be very, very cool.
Yes.
We'll both be there.
Yes,
Definitely
yes.
come if you're a big fan of the shows. Come by and say hey.
Say hello.
Next one is Spooky Empire 20th anniversary. That's going to be in Orlando. That is going to be the 27th to the 29th.
Yeah, right before Halloween.
So, but we will be there. We have for 90s Con, we have different merchandising that will, once 90s Con is done, that merchandise is done. So it's exclusive to that event.
Right.
So come out and say hey. Thank you for watching. Please let us know what you think of the Haunted Mansion. And again, like, subscribe, and please leave a comment.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Robby Reviews is hosted by Robby Brooksby as part of the Limitless Broadcasting Network. Post-production and intro by Sammi Brooksby. Follow the show on Instagram at Robby Reviews Movies. Check out the other shows on our network by following at Limitless Broadcasting on Instagram and at 1950 Studios on TikTok. See you next time.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.